Hey, how are we all doing out there? Welcome to Modulate TV episode 16. So I'm Rob Dixon, and I'm joined tonight by a couple of presenters. So first of all, we've got our favourite sword-swinging robot. We've got Matt.
Good evening, everyone.
And we've got a guest presenter tonight. So you'll recognise this chap's side profile at the very least from all the performances he's done for us. We've got our good friend Dave Julian. Hey, Dave.
Hi, Rob. Hiya. Thanks very much for having us on.
So yes, we've got a globe-trotting show, I guess, for you tonight. So we start off in Manchester, then we head off to Colorado. We stay in the States with Oregon before coming back to Europe with Sweden, then into the Netherlands, and then finishing off closer to home in North Wales. So yeah, brilliant to I guess represent this global community that's come together over the past year. So yeah, let's dive into it then. So kicking off tonight, we've got a performance from Return Code Zero, who's based in Manchester in the UK. Here we go. So that was Return Code Zero kicking us off tonight with that banging jam from his studio over in Manchester. What do we think of that one, Matt?
Yeah, fantastic way to start the show. Just a proper techno jam to get us in there. I really loved the kind of Mother 32 bass line, that kind of 5-step thing going around the 4/4 drums. Just a classic, immediate techno sound, and I think he really shows his sound design background there with all of the sort of modular sounds and the little dub delay coming from the Lexicon unit there. But just a really cool, solid groove on that track. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a great jam. Really nice mood to it, nice feel, very groovy, and I really liked the mood and feel from it. I thought it had a really nice, solid thumping bass drum, and I liked the percussion coming in and out, hi-hats, and I wasn't sure, but maybe a truncated or gated cymbal sound that Greg's using as well, which I thought was nice. I like that. I'd describe it as like bubbly sounding synth riffs and what sounded to me like a ratchet type effect on one of the synth sequences as well, which I like. I like the ratchet effects on a sequence that came through. And I thought it was really effective when he's dropping the bass drum out and letting the synth riffs come through and evolve and develop on themselves there, and then really effective when the bass drum comes back in again with that really solid thumping bass drum. Yeah, just really nice feel to it, you know.
Yeah, it certainly has some energy, didn't it? I thought it was a nice kick off the show with a, just good bit of energy, and like you say, that the kind of techno sounds that we all kind of love. But it's always cool to see everyone's different interpretations of that.
Yeah, and puts a good effect there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you, Matt, I think the kind of I think using the modular and the sound design in the modular, you kind of get that movement in some of the sounds that you might not always get on kind of traditional synths. I couldn't really see because it was at the side what kind of modulation he had going, but certainly sounded brilliant whatever it was he was doing. So his album, Matt, is that a Bandcamp release that was out there? Was it?
It is, yeah. So his debut album was released, I think it was late last year, possibly early this year. A Memory Program on Grey Matter Recordings. It's just a really fantastic sort of techno electro. It's a proper journey, highly recommended. And he also does a monthly show on ARP Radio, which again showcases his DJ side. And again, highly recommended. We'll pop the links to them down in the description.
No, top stuff. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for thanks for joining the show and sending us that. So brilliant. So next up, then we've got the Surging Mass, and this will be Jason. I think it's his third performance for Modulate TV. So he's done two before, one of which we shared as part of our Rewind series. So I'll give that a little plug on the YouTube channel, so you can go and see his first ever performance for Modulate TV. And we're delighted he's joined us tonight because he was supposed to be on our anniversary show, which is a couple of shows back, but let's just say life got in the way for him for a little bit, a little while. So he's back up and running now. So we're thrilled that he's with us tonight and that he sent us this jam, and not modular for a change tonight for Jason. So yeah, let's have a watch and see what we think. This is the Surging Mass. Right, so that was Jason performing as the Surging Mass. Love that. Love the I guess the cinematic feel as well as the performance. Seen a few people doing that recently, getting out into the outdoors and recording the jams out there. Not quite snowed in the background, Matt, but it still looked pretty spectacular out there, didn't it?
It's all right, wasn't it? I guess Colorado's all right.
Yeah, I guess it kind of looked okay to me, didn't it? So, yeah, and as I say, just performing on the model cycles, which...
Yeah, it was quite a surprise, actually, to see him away from the modular kit. Following him on Instagram, he's got so many amazing modular explorations. It's cool to see him kind of strip it right back down to one box, battery powered with the field recorder. I love just the little river sounds that were getting picked up on the field recorder. It kind of just bedded everything down. I think the performance and the visuals just fitted so nicely. And yeah, great to see another of our community getting out and about in the sunshine. Absolutely. Ever played a synth in a moving vehicle, Dave?
I haven't, no. I haven't been very mobile, I must admit, with my equipment. I need a good solid electricity supply and somewhere to plug it in, and a good sturdy keyboard stand. That's what I need. But I thought it was a nice opening to the film, starting with the car drive, the car journey, just a clip.
Yeah, I like that.
On the road down there.
I like the... it's a nice way into the performance, wasn't it?
Yeah. I found with these episodes on Modulate TV, all the performers I've seen who take the gear outside into a landscape setting, each of the landscapes or the scenery that the performer's chosen for the music seems to go really well with the musical performance that they're doing.
Yeah.
That's how it strikes me, and this is certainly no exception to that which I found from Sergeant Mass in his performance tonight. On that, I thought that, the landscape, like Matt was saying, with the sound of the stream or the river in the distance, you can just see a fluffy microphone cover, can't you, in the screen? Yeah. So I think that's being picked up. I didn't notice till later in the track, the sound of the water running. But I thought that's really nice, and the landscapes, it goes really nice. But I thought it was a really nice mood created. Sounds to me like a semitonal progression in some places, like the music's only moving in semitones, and that sort of sets quite a nice, thoughtful mood. It made me feel thoughtful and reflexive when I was watching and listening to it. Nice, clean, square wave sounds coming through in parts of the film, a nice, clean, open square wave.
No, really, really excellent. I think it's got some cool little performance tricks on it, the model cycles. For a small box, you can... it's got things like chants, and you can do like some of the electron boxes do where you affect all, and you can kind of do those drops without necessarily needing to program them in. You can kind of do it more as a performance type thing.
That's electron for you, isn't it? Adding their touches.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's excellent. I just love kind of, you think you've seen a few different sides to the people who perform for you, and you never quite know what you're going to get when someone sends you a performance. And I kind of love the surprise of this one, that it was just something completely different. I shouldn't be surprised with Jason that it was a bit of a left turn, because he's done that a couple of times. So, but yeah, no, I thought it was excellent. So, if you want to hear more from the Sergeant Mass, so he's incredibly prolific on Instagram. As the guys are saying, he's kind of modular experiments, and fascinating to watch what he's up to on there. And he's got some cool stuff on Bandcamp as well. So head on over there and kind of give him a follow. So thank you, Jason. So as we said, so for next performance, we're staying in the US, and we're heading over to Eugene, Oregon, and we've got Carl Benedek. So Carl performs as Wokeass Messiah. And I came across Carl on something called Earth Modular Society, which is a YouTube platform that it's like a open access 24-hour streaming platform. Brilliant community on Discord, really welcoming and friendly. And Carl does a weekly show for that called his Sunday service. I think it's an hour-long show every week, which is just fabulous. So yeah, he's the master of the D-Fam. I'm not sure he's using that in this track, and one of my favourite modules, 2HP Pluck as well. So yeah, but he's performed today. It's called, I'm just going to read this, Glitching Within, Glitching Without, and it's inspired by a Karma Moffat album, which is called Sitting Still Within, Sitting Still Without. So here we go. This is Wokeass Messiah. Right, that was Wokeass Messiah with glitching within, glitching without. I'm a huge fan of these evolving modular performances. I guess I would be given my background, so I'll head over to my non-modular friends to see what they thought of it. So Dave, you saying you like the kind of intro into that with the kind of singing bowl at the start of it?
I did, yeah. I thought that was really nice. I like the striking sound of it as it struck, the actual striking sound, and then what I'd call a resonating afterglow of the sound afterwards. So you've got the striking sound, and then there's the really long resonating afterglow of the sound afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know if that was. I wonder if that was just a natural sound in the room, or whether he was taking that into the modular and it was being processed somehow.
I'd say it's definitely the sound from the bowl.
Yeah,
you know, that's what happens when you strike those bowls.
Yeah, you kind of get that resonance.
I was wondering if it was being sampled. I couldn't tell because I don't know the gear, but
no. If Carl's in the chat, it's not in his notes. But if you're in the chat, Carl, then let us know whether it was you were kind of bringing that in with anything into the modular.
Soon after that starts, I hope Carl doesn't mind, but this is my interpretation of it. So you had that 5-note sequence, and then what comes on top of that, it sort of gave me like an agitated feeling. Setting the scene of chaos. Okay. It was like a chaos scene that came to me. That's over the 5-note sequence, which is good because it's all striking emotions within, and then out of that, I'd say just over 3.5 minutes into the track. After that, the chaos lifts, and there's a nice feeling low register riff comes in with what feels to me like an African tribal sequence over that. Over the top, sounds like a small wooden blocks being struck.
Yeah,
it's that sort of sound. I don't know what instrument it's doing, but this is what I heard.
Yeah, it's very effective. I thought
very effective. Really well done.
Yeah, he's using the so the little module in the bottom left hand corner is tempi, which is a make noise module, and that's it's like a clock, but you can play it, so you can basically play in your own clock divisions. So I think that's kind of driving the patch, and then he's got a couple of sequences that are being clocked by that. So he's got a melodic one, and then I think he's got the Dnipro dot, which is like I think you can do Euclidean type stuff on there, but he might be using that for the drums. So I think he had kind of irregular clocks clocking his sequences, if you like, which that for me was kind of the heart of the patch and the heart of kind of getting some of those rhythms that you described. So
it's that kind of slow evolving patch that just really draws you in, and really impactful start with the singing bowl. As Dave said, that kind of sort of a bit of a feeling of tension comes in, and then when our good friend the 2HP pluck comes in about the 8-minute mark, it's almost like a little release, and everything's going to be okay. The 2HP pluck is here. It's fine. I really loved actually it felt like there was kind of some looping going on in that one. I really liked the kind of glitchy lo-fi, almost kind of like underscore that he had going on there with, I guess, the performer.
Yeah, it's the performer
glitching that up, and
so performer's got. You can latch the. So it's got like a beat repeat in there, so you can use the arcade buttons, and you can either momentary sort of press them, or you can latch it. So you might have had something going on with that in terms of if you got the loop, you might have been looping the kind of glitchiness on that. He uses that loads actually. The performer, he uses that quite a lot in his stuff. He's a bit of a pro on that one.
And our first Modulate TV mention in the track as well. That was pretty cool. Partway through, just hear him whispering that into the microphone.
I didn't catch that. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that again. Right? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's later on in it, but I was just like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. I've not listened to it on headphones yet, so I'll have it on my headphones and pick that one up. Cool. Well, thank you, Carl, and thanks so much for sharing that with us. And it's just great to see. I just love it when people have kind of taken that care over the setup of their patch, and slightly different setup to how I've seen Carl on some of his Earth Modular Society stuff. So yeah, brilliant to see. If you do want to see more of Carl, then do check out the Earth Modular Society on YouTube. And if you want to become part of that, then, as I say, join the Discord community. Great bunch of people on there. Carl's, again, very active on Insta, and he's got some cool stuff on Bandcamp as well. So, yeah, go check him out. Right, so where are we off next? So, yeah, so we've got Michael Hellquist next, who resides in Sweden and performs as, I'll try and pronounce this right, skala. And he's another former performer, this time going all the way back to, I think it's episode 2, Matt. So
yeah,
so that's a long way back in the archives, that one. But
several lockdowns ago.
Several lockdowns ago, yeah. So
we measure time now.
Yeah, and he was one of the first people, I guess, from outside our kind of, who we approached from outside our local community. So great to have him back on the show. It's the first of 2 tracks tonight featuring the wonderful Somar Pulsar 23. And all I'll say about this one is just hold on to your hats and let's dive in. Okay, right. So that's woke you all up. So that's Grass Skala there, making full use of the Soma Pulsar and all the just all the wonderful sounds that you can bring out of that. You probably saw the stacking of the crocodile clips and multiple crocodile clips on various pins and that kind of thing. It's just a fabulous machine, which he certainly seems to have learned well in the short time he's had it, and fantastic performance. Matt, what were your thoughts on the Pulsar in that one?
Yeah, just absolutely savage sound out of that. Like absolute, it manages to be like really sharp and really kind of deep at the same time. And just from the second it kicks off, I'm glad that you gave that little warning ahead of time, so everybody can make sure that they're sitting down, that the pets are maybe out of the room. But yeah, it's just a really beautifully filmed video as well. That kind of narrow depth of field with the Pulsar in full focus, and then I guess it kind of looked like maybe a little Korg SQ1 type of thing, maybe that he was doing a bit of modulation with at the front. I could be totally wrong on that, but a brilliant evolving performance that again just shows off in the right hands how amazingly versatile the Pulsar can be. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's what I mean. If you notice in the top left-hand corner, that's kind of the Eurorack to Pulsar integration bits. It's a two-way thing, so you can go Eurorack in or you can go Pulsar out. And I think he was using all 8 there, so I'm not sure what he was sending in backwards and forwards. I know. So he's like the Facebook Soma Pulsar group. He's very active in there and very curious in his discovery of the machine. So we've got a few debates around how to get the best out of the triggers, and because the Pulsar accepts a higher voltage than Eurorack. So I don't know if he was triggering that from within Eurorack. I think he probably was. But either way, sounded great. Dave, I think you enjoyed this one. What did you think?
Yeah, likewise, very much actually. I thought, to me, it was like the beats were lying below a really nice network of mechanical feeling sequences. It reminded me of a spider's web kind of thing, or like a network of those mechanical sequences underneath. Gave me that sort of mechanical network feeling.
Okay.
Which I thought was great. And I really like the synth sounds as well. I love those. It felt to me like this is sort of interpretation of the sound thing to me. It feels like from what you're hearing of the sounds, some of them are being squeezed through a small aperture, and then when they come out through the other side of that small aperture, they're released into the atmosphere and they're enabled to expand into the sound that they are. Sort of sequences, the riffs later, as the track's developing, it's like they're being squeezed through it's a strong sound, the one I'm referring to. So the sounds I'm referring to, it's a strong sound. It's like they're being squeezed through a small aperture and then expanding into the atmosphere when they come out through there. That's what took me. But again, on this track, nice dismantling of the parts of the track to end as well. You can hear it sort of dismantling towards the end, which I think is a nice touch.
Yeah, he does. I think his pre-performance, and certainly in some of the stuff he's done on YouTube, he gets a lot into kind of a 6-7 minute performance, and like you say, the construction of the track and how he gets in and out and the elements of it. I think that's something he excels at. It's
nice spider's web there. Anyway, I thought. Network of mechanical sequences. Yeah.
I'm just picturing a spider with crocodile clips for feet now. So thanks for that, Dave. That'll haunt my dreams. Appreciate it.
That'll haunt you. Cool. So thanks, Michael, and thanks for being part of the show again. We love it when people return and kind of do more performances for us. It's kind of big part of what we're about. So thanks for that, and we'll put links in the description as always. But yeah, do check out on Instagram and Spotify and Bandcamp. Right, so I'm personally really excited about our next performers. So we've got Jungle Wires, Mandy from across in the Netherlands, huge part of the modular scene and a kind of really popular member of that. If you've seen her performances for Modular World, you'll kind of know what we're about to get, because they've always been truly special, and it's no exception here. I think she's created a wonderful performance for us here. So yeah, let's go join Mandy on what looks like her houseboat somewhere in the Netherlands. Yeah, and just settle in and enjoy this performance. that was Jungle of Wires, with a truly special improvised performance there for us. Been messaging Mandy quite a lot about this one. She said it was quite scary because she patched everything live and also played the rhythms into the looper of the Pulsar live as well. Which that's quite a challenge, certainly for me with my timing. But there we are. So, but yeah, I thought that was wonderful. Dave, what was your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, really taken by this, actually, from the beginning, from the opening scene. The style of time-lapse photography at the beginning of the film, where all the patch cables have been inserted, sort of before the music starts, I think, really, isn't it? It's like time-lapse photography. I thought that was really effective, and the aquatic view out of the window to a vessel or boat moored up in the port, and the slight movement of the water seemed perfect to go with the music to me. It made me feel as though the view out of the window might be from within another vessel or boat, and what we were listening to are the sounds of a long oceanic journey's beginning, leaving the port and venturing into open ocean with the music, because I thought it was a very emotive performance, and it made me feel sort of expectant or anticipating discoveries to come while I was listening to it. And then that feeling combined with looking out the window into the water, it gave me the feeling of possibly the beginning of embarking on an oceanic journey. But really nice music.
Certainly I think the emotion in the performance kind of got me as well with that one. She's got a way with melody that is just lovely, and she's using the Metropolis sequencer there, which is kind of great for improvised melodies on it. But
okay, I think you'd have to be a very cold-hearted person not to be affected by the music in that performance. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, really nice. And again, the percussion from the Pulsar, the slow-mo Pulsar coming through, sounding really nice there again. And this seems to be a favourite of mine in some of these videos on tonight's show, the deconstruction of the track at the end. So I thought that was really nicely done in this track again as well. The way the track ended, you can hear and feel a sort of dismantling destruction of the track as it comes to an end, which is a nice touch. Yeah. But I thought it was a very emotive piece, that, and very effective.
Top work, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to pretend to be cold-hearted about it.
You're just known for that, Matt. So yeah,
I know. Yeah. But yeah, as Dave said, from the very beginning of that, from the first tone that you hear, it's just absolutely spellbinding. And getting to watch a patch from scratch, I think that may be the first one that we've had. Seeing it start from bare equipment and then building up. And it felt like such an immediate present performance, and you got the feeling that she was on that, just on the edge of it getting distorted and out of control a little bit, and she was just keeping it right there. And that's often where the interesting kind of resonant parts of the sound are. And there was a few times I think where she may have plugged something in and you just got quite a powerful tone, but everything was balanced, and then she was quick on, and it just drenched in that gorgeous reverb. It was kind of like she could do no wrong, or she certainly did do no wrong. That kind of it kind of reminded me of Megan Lieber's performance, where it was just so subtle and controlled, but paced so perfectly that it built so nicely. And then just as you think you're settling in there, she's kind of over and playing in some new drums on the Pulsar, and as you say, just live looping drums in 5 minutes into a performance or something. There's a lot of bits that I think I would have sort of shaky hands when I was reaching over there. But
it's funny you say that, because she described, I was chatting with her on Instagram, she was saying she described it as scary, because I think it's one of the first performances she's done where she has done that live playing in. and it's quite hard on the pulsar because there's no real guide for you. There's no there's no sequences. So you don't see the steps. So yeah, you kind of are just playing by feel into the looper. So I think that's probably why it was scary, but impeccable timing, and like you say, impeccably paced as well. It just felt, it just felt like you were in very safe hands for the entire performance, despite the fact that she found it scary. So
yeah, I think it's watching these performances. The thing that I'm really, as a non-modular person, that I'm really enjoying about watching the longer modular performances is just that sense of you're totally in the moment. You can see every input, every patch, every little tweak. You can hear the effect of it, and it's such a kind of, you're right there with you. It makes for a very engaging performance, and that certainly was.
Yeah. And the restraint as well. I think that's another thing. I think she's a master of. It's just that kind of knowing how much is enough and when to add and when to take away. I think you both commented on that. I thought, I just wonderful performance for me, and delighted to have Mandy on the show. And yeah, thanks so much for sharing that with us. Yeah, again, as usual with most of the folk on Instagram, she's got some cool stuff over there on Bandcamp. Do head over and watch the Finder performances on Jono's Modular World show, because they were equally spectacular. So well worth checking those out as well. So yeah, thank you. Cool. So before we go into our last performance, we've got an interview we did with Julie Upmeyer. So Matt, do you want to introduce the interview and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have Julie's been a friend of the show, I think, since our early days, and we'll often get a little message with the picture of them relaxing with the show on their TV and a nice glass of wine. So it was great to get to speak to her about a really exciting upcoming project called Sounds for an Empty House, that certain wonderful local artists, including somebody not a million miles away, might be involved in coming up next Saturday. So we talked a bit about that, and about her Plas Bodfa as a whole as well, which in and of itself is an interesting story.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? So yeah, let's have a listen.
Julie, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be on the TV instead of watching the TV.
And so, Plas Bodfa, it's you have the Sounds for an Empty House event coming up. I think before that, can we talk a little bit about Plas Bodfa, because I think the house and the wider project is really interesting as well.
Yeah, it's a grand experiment. It's unfolded one small step at a time. It's not like there was a grand plan. I'm not an institution. I moved to Wales 3 years ago with my husband and one daughter from Istanbul. And we were very simply looking for a house, and I wanted a big studio. I'm a visual artist. I make sculptures, installations, other things. And through the house searching process, we did come across Plas Bodfa, skip a bunch of stuff. We ended up buying it, and then every interest that we had in our lives individually and as a family ended up being shaped around the history of the house, the makeup of the house, the situation, the relationship to the village, the relationships to the time and space and history that's all around us all the time. Going through the process of planning permissions, we realized like the legality of housing and businesses in a whole nother way. And that process is still going on. But through the process of like doing BAT reports and ecology surveys and thinking about highways and what happened in the use class, it inspired our first exhibition. So that was Sui Generis, The Possibilities of a House, where I invited 69 creatives to explore the makeup of the house, the spatial situation of the house, the history of the house in 69 different ways. That inspired a second exhibition called Unus Maltorum, which was the classic lockdown exhibition that ended up lasting for a year with lots of experimental streaming and creative documentation. And in between, I've been trying to work with Dominic from Soundlands for the last 2 years, kept getting delayed, and he said, let's just do something. So we set out to do a simple project, which is not a simple project. Apparently I'm completely enabled to do simple projects. But through a series of really beautiful conversations about sound, about working with people, about COVID regulations, about the qualities of space and time, I was able to use these like secret locations around the house, because I have my studio in here. We're not living inside the house, but in the wind and in the rain, like the house makes so many incredible noises. There's a flap that has like crinkly, worn out tape on the end that breathes ever so gently in the wind. There's a keyhole that makes a beautiful sound. There's far too many drainage vents everywhere in the house that are, in essence, like tubes or pan flutes, some sort of sound device that's been installed as this passageway from inner to outer, and in all different qualities when they make different sounds. So I just always considered that to be a private experimental sound concert for us within the house. But in conversations with Dominic, we just wanted to share that childish sense of hope and glee that you get when like, it made a noise. So we decided to do 24 hours, sunrise to sunrise, broken up into hour slots, and to invite 24 different sound artists, musicians, people interested in sound, people that work with sound, quite a long spectrum, to come and interact with the house for an hour each. There'll be microphones set up throughout the house to incorporate the sounds that the house itself is making. We have a very intimidating mixing desk. So those who want to input things and play and loop and manipulate and approach it from a technical way, that's possible. Other of the artists are more interested in the physicality of sound. So they're very interested to walk around the house, play with the rooms, the materials, the microphones. Some people are bringing a lot of their own kit and gear. Some people are bringing only themselves. We have a dancer working with contact mics. Rob from Modulate bringing his selection of plant listening devices. So the 24 hours will be as distinct as the 24 artists that we're inviting.
Oh, brilliant. So we'll pop all the links in description below. But Sounds for an Empty House, it'll be live on YouTube?
Live on YouTube and Facebook. And a big thanks to the Oscilloscope crew for helping us with the technical setup and live stream and being involved on the technical side and the artistic side throughout the 24 hours. Couldn't have done it without you. Fantastic,
yeah. So will they be relaying? And lots of coffee for the Oscilloscope boys then?
That's right.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us, Julie. It's been fascinating talking to you, and can't wait for the event.
Thank you. And I'm so pleased and honored to be such a part of such a vibrant scene here in North Wales with Modulate, and it's been such a big part of feeling home here, that there's Modulate events, there's Oscilloscope events, and I can sit down on the big screen and listen to incredible experimental music from North Wales and this whole zone. So it's a big part of my life, and I'm grateful for all the contributions from the artists from your side.
Great to hear from Julie there. So the performance, I should know when this is because I'm doing it, but it's next Saturday, which is the
26th.
The 26th. Thank you, Matt.
As she very nicely put it, sunrise to sunrise.
Sunrise to sunrise, indeed. I'm not quite at sunrise, but I am quite early on Saturday morning. So, yeah, and there's people like Ed and Rob, Charles, Mark, Glyn. I think all have done the show with us. So, yeah, a few folks from Modulate. Okay, so we're on to our last performance now. So we've got Robin from just down the road, at least for us anyway, and he's previously performed twice for us on Modulate TV as Woodwoe. He also performed at Modulate at Sheldon's in Colwyn Bay. I think that was his first ever live performance. So regular on the show, and tonight we've got a performance from him under his Among the Trees moniker. So yeah, let's have a listen to this. that was Among the Trees. That was Robin giving us a proper exploration of. He's got quite a few Fractals modules in there. So he's got the complex oscillator and the Brenso. So yeah, that's what's giving us all the wonderful tones in that performance. So yeah, Matt, what do you think of that one?
Yeah, another amazing performance from Robin. Regardless of the equipment that he's using, I think he's been on a different setup each time he's performed for us, and he just always brings something unique and just powerful. I think that performance, just right from the start, it's so big and wide in the headphones. I don't know, I think there's maybe the Mimeophone doing that cool kind of stereo delay.
Yeah, Mimeophone does that. You can kind of spread the. It's not quite ping pong delay, I don't think, but you can kind of spread the sounds on it. So.
Yeah, it just gives it such kind of width and presence. It's fantastic, and another amazing, just evolving jam that just hooks you in, and you get to just take that journey. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, he was buzzing. He was buzzing when he did it. He was messaging me saying, I've got one. So, yeah, he's incredibly passionate about what he does. Dave, I don't think you realised this one was Robin until I told you earlier. So
no, I didn't. No, with a name I'm not used to and sounds I'm not used to coming from Robin either.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's performed on the Modulate nights with us. So that's really what I've only seen live with Robin when he had the Electron Rhythm.
Yeah, there is some, yeah.
And he was doing a set just with that, wasn't he? Just with that machine on
brilliant.
On one of the nights I played, I think.
Yeah,
so that's what I've known. So obviously he knows how to get a lot out of the pieces of equipment. And this performance, like Matt's saying, very powerful. There's a lot coming out of here. The things I liked about it were the grinding drone intro. Nice grinding drone to the intro there. And the portamento gliding notes of sequence on top. I thought they sounded great with what I call hints of ghostly or haunting sequences below those portamento sequences. To me, I'll give you a sort of, how I thought the sounds sounded to me and how they made me feel description. So for me, some of the sounds sounded like they were being stretched, elasticated, not in the sampling sense of sound stretching, but in the sort of physical or aural sense of elasticating a sound and stretching it out. Like they had an elasticity to the sounds. That's what I picked up on that. Portamento sounds very strong, and made me feel like I was listening to a conversation between machines. Like there's a dialogue going on there, maybe like a dialogue exchange between the diodes, maybe. Okay. It's like a conversation between machines and the elasticity of the sounds. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, I think I think he's got the Felistry, I think it's called. So the Brenso's complex oscillator, so it kind of modulates itself, but then the Felistry's got a lot of I think it's got sample and hold and random sequences in there, and a lot of envelopes. So I think that's probably where you're getting that kind of complexity in the sound.
Yeah,
and he's
very effective.
Yeah, and the thing I love with Robin is he's just fearless in how he explores the full capabilities of whatever gear he's got. You always know with Robin, he'll have taken it to its absolute limits in terms of what it's possible to get out of those machines.
Okay. Maybe that's what I was hearing there, and I don't know the equipment, but just going by what I was hearing, it sounds like there's a lot of sound manipulation and going on there, and it's a living thing, I'd say.
Absolutely, and I've had stuff that I've kind of shared with Robin, equipment and that kind of thing, and he's always got it to do stuff that I've like, whoa, okay, I never got it to sound quite like that, but he proper pushes the boundaries on stuff.
Well, even with the rhythm, just his set that he did with Electron Rhythm, did live a couple of years ago, I hadn't heard those sounds or those kind of beats coming from an electron rhythm before. You know, there's only...
Neither have I, and I've got one. I was like, I didn't know it could do that. Oh my God.
You use it different. Yeah, you're using it differently, aren't you?
I was just using it as a drum machine like an idiot.
As you'd expect.
He's very tribal
again,
influence Robin. So he always pushes stuff to his limits. So yeah, who knows where the boy will go next.
Where this path will lead.
So that's it. That's the end of our performances for tonight. So huge thank you to everyone who's performed for us. So kicked off with Return Code Zero, at the Surgeon Mass, and we've stayed in the States with Wokeass Messiah, and we had those couple of contrasting pulsar performances with skala and Jungle of Wires, and then as we just heard Robin as Among the Trees. So thanks so much everyone for those performances. I mean guys, it's just a wonderful, diverse, inspiring array of music we've heard, isn't it? So
absolutely.
It
again shows just the depth of creativity that we have in this community. And I think just again saying thank you for everybody who's given their performances, just has shared them and been so generous with the patch notes to help us sound like we slightly know what we're talking about as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dave, you enjoyed it, mate? Enjoyed it?
Yeah, very much. You know, to hear this, to be able, what I had the chance with for this show was to be able to study these tracks a bit more with listening to them, you know, to do some prep for the show. So I was able to listen to this style of music creation in more detail. So that was a new experience for me. And I really enjoyed it. You know, I didn't find it hard work to make these notes I've got in front of me, you know. So I hope my interpretations of them came through. I really enjoyed it anyway, and I hope everyone carries on doing what they're doing, you know. Stay creative and stay true to yourself and to your passions.
Yeah, thanks Dave, and thanks for joining us. If you do want to be part of it, of course you can just kind of watch the show with us, and really appreciate everyone who's watching tonight and your comments on whether it be on the YouTube shows or whether it's kind of following people after the show and commenting on their Instagram or their own YouTube. It's just brilliant that everyone feels part of it. It's kind of why we do this. It's just trying to present the people whose music we love in the best possible light and in a way that people can enjoy it. So thanks for doing that. If you do want to be part of the show, you can get in touch with us at modulatemusic@btinternet.com, or send us a message on Instagram if you want to do that. If you want to support what we do, we've kind of set up a coffee page, so you can go buy us a coffee, and we'll put the link to that in the description as well. And finally, the next show is, I think we're going on Sunday, the 18th of July, and that's building up to be another fantastic lineup. So as soon as we get it all confirmed, we'll get that out there and share that with you as well. But thanks Dave.
Thanks Rob.
Thanks Matt.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks all the performers, and thanks all for watching. See you soon.